it going? Happy Co-working Tuesday. Hey, Freddie. I hope you have a great day, too. All right, so this is a co-working stream. I have quite a list today of the things I would like to get done in the next 2 hours. We'll see how we do. So we're going to be working for an hour. I already have the timer going, so I'm going to try to not chat too much. Chat for a max 2 minutes, and then we'll get right into it. For an hour of work, we're just going to have some music playing while we work. So if you have some things that you want to get done as well for the next hour, please let me know what you want to get done. And then we'll take a break for like 5 minutes or so and stand up and move around and stretch. And then we'll work for another hour. So 2 hours of solid work today. Hoping to get a bunch of things done. Hey, Brendan, nice to see you. Hi. Hey, Goopy, over on Twitch. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to try to not chat too much so I won't bring up too many topics. One major thing that happened last week for me is it looks like I might be getting the rights back for one of my games. So it's still in the early process of that, but we'll see what happens with that. And this is not the first time that's happened, and once you get the rights back to a game, you can then pitch it to other publishers, which I would plan to do. You can always then potentially self-publish, which, could be something to consider. But again, it's just so much work to do that yourself. I mean, I could put it up on the Game Crafter. Could be interesting. There's a bunch of stuff going on with that right now. We'll see what shakes out. Someone suggested I check out the game Siberian Manhunt. They thought there were some elements of it that could be relevant to my game, The Empress, that I'm working on right now. And so I watched a playthrough of that, and what a cool game. Very cool game. I haven't played a ton of hidden movement games, but I think it's very fun. But just there are so many thematic touches to that game that I absolutely loved. Very cool. Like, you need to stay warm in the winter. So basically, one person has like crash landed in Siberia and they're running away from the KGB, and then the other player plays as like the KGB and they're trying to find this person. And so the person running away, they need to stay warm in the winter, and so different ways they can do that is they can build a fire, and they need to like find the materials to make a fire, or they can drink vodka, that'll warm them up. They can try to craft a coat. They run across people in the wilderness and in towns that might help them. And there's just so many cool thematic touches. I thought it was very, very cool. I watched the full hour and a half playthrough of that. So I don't know if you've heard of that one. That's called Siberian Manhunt. I think it's fairly new. It came out within the past year or so. Really enjoyed the thematic integration in that game. So thank you so much to everyone who suggests games for me to check out that they think I might learn something from. That actually makes me think about something I posted in my Discord about board games that people would recommend to people who are getting into game design that they should play, like when people are first getting interested in board game design. So quite a few great suggestions came through on Discord, and I did make a video about this, like 20 games new board game designers should play. That was a few years ago, so it might be fun to make an updated video on the topic. I think it's really fun to talk about different games that would be a good foundation for someone starting out in board game design. Hey, Ball Guy, nice to see you. Hey, Grayson, hello. Okay, so Ball Guy is working on rules today. Might be halfway there. Very exciting. Rules, yeah, I should probably start writing out the rules for the Empress. Right now, there's just kind of bullet list of things, which are all pretty much outdated. So I should probably start writing out the rules pretty soon here. It feels fairly stable. I play tested it yesterday. That's another thing that happened. I play tested the solo version yesterday, and overall got very positive feedback. They did say it was very challenging, which I do want it to be challenging, but they said it was a good puzzle that they were excited to try to figure out, even though it was challenging. So that was good. And there weren't any major, like, uh, major suggestions of like this whole system doesn't work. You know, like they felt like all the systems were working. So hopefully we're at a point where the game is fairly stable, because then I'll start writing the rules. I don't want to write out all the rules, especially for like a complicated game like this. Don't want to write out all the rules when the game is still in flux, like changing so much. For a lighter game, I'll write out the rules pretty early on because they're easier to update. It's quicker to update. But yeah, I should probably start writing out the rules for the Empress pretty soon. Thank you for the reminder, ball guy. Hey Tony, nice to see you. You're working, yeah. Congrats again. That's very cool. Hey, Sproodles here. Yeah. Nice. Rules are the least fun part. Yeah, it's not super fun. It can be nice when it starts coming together and you feel like it's clear, and basically when it's done, it's fun. When it's done and over, it's not terrible. And it's nice to see it kind of come together. It's like, oh, this is actually looking like an actual game with rules and stuff. But yeah, it's not my favorite. I'll tell you that. It's really tough. Really tough to clearly convey rules to people, especially when you're so close to the game and just some things are so obvious. But then to other people, they might need more explaining. Yeah, totally, ball guy. It can be quite rewarding when you actually get through it. Absolutely. Totally. Oh, Sproodle likes writing rules. There you go. At least for simpler games, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Simpler games are definitely easier for writing out rules. This is part of why I'm cutting something in my game today that's on my list here. Delete the extra dice. That was just something that I felt like would be a bit difficult to explain in the rules how they work. Like, I feel like it might be a little bit difficult to explain how that works in the rules. So I decide that's part of the reason why I'm getting rid of them. And also, I'm also just trying to streamline things as much as possible. And I don't feel like they're adding enough for the fiddliness that they are adding to the game. So I'm getting rid of them. And yeah, then the other things are just small little changes. I'm playtesting the game again tomorrow with my members. So very excited about that. Okay, I've already gabbed longer than I wanted to today. But let's keep chatting in the chat, but let's get going, working, all that fun stuff. Oh, it's what Tony enjoys, that the rules are the game. It's what I think about and enjoy the most. Excellent. That's great. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Let's get right into it. Please share what you want to get done in the next hour. I'll top up this time so we get a full hour. Best of luck with your to-do list. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the chat.
Yeah.
Uh.
No.
All right, I just sent out the newsletter. I'm so glad I finished that in the first hour. Let me update that and say done. Let me know if you got it. I'm talking about a pitch opportunity for mass market publishers called Mojo Pitch. So could be a cool opportunity. That's what my newsletter is about today. Let's just catch up on the chat before we take a quick break. Do you do a chat stream like a designer's group chat, less a work stream, more an idea bounce round chat? I mean, yeah, we chat before we start working during these streams, and then during the break, and then a little bit after. But then I also do have a monthly office hours stream with my members. So that's more, it's just chatting, and then people will send in their sell sheets and I give my feedback on them. Or if they might have a pitch video, I could give feedback on, or any questions that they have. So that's a monthly chatty stream. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can consider becoming a subscriber, which is like 99 cents a month. So it could be worth that if that's something that you're looking for, because yeah, these can be a bit chatty for sure, but mainly it's to work side by side. Oh, nice. Brendan's working out the simultaneous movement in his design. Very cool. Very cool. Good luck with that. Mark's hit a bit of a wall. I'm a better developer than salesman. Good luck with that, Mark. I know that sucks to hit a wall like that. That's very frustrating, but hopefully you can get through it. Yeah, thanks, ball guy. Yeah, and anyone can join the Discord. I have a public Discord, but yeah, if you're a member, you get access to a ton more channels where we're always chatting about things. So that could be another reason to become a member if that interests you. Okay, sweet, you got it. Thanks for letting me know, ball guy Sprudel. Awesome. Yeah, I'm on top of Tuesday. Yeah, I'm all over it. It helps I didn't front load my to-do list with a bunch of stuff before writing and sending out my newsletter, which sometimes I do. I did, before I sent out the newsletter, I added a bunch more events to the Board Game Designer calendar. That's another thing that I didn't mean to push the membership. This is just what's happening. I updated the Board Game Designer calendar, which is a Google calendar that all my members have access to. And it's cool because it just overlays your regular Google calendar, and then you can just see upcoming board game conventions, playtesting opportunities, pitching opportunities, things like that. So I try to keep it fairly updated. So I added a bunch of events to that before writing and sending out the newsletter, but it just came together fairly quickly today. So it's nice when that happens. Very nice. Alrighty. Yes, brutal. It is expensive, isn't it? Yeah, that's the cost to participate online. I do think it is very expensive, and I don't like that they pass the cost off to the designers. But that's, if it can result in signing a game with a Hasbro or with a Mattel or with a Ravensburger, that cost will obviously be worth it. You just don't know, right? Like, we work on speculation so much. We have to put in all this time playtesting a game that we don't know if anything could even happen with it ever. We might have to pay fees like this for something when we don't know anything will result from it. So yeah, it sucks that there is such a high cost to the designers pitching their games, but it could be worth it. Even if it doesn't result in signing a game where then you would get an advance and then potentially get royalties. It could be worth it if you see it as an opportunity to meet with, face-to-face over video chat with a ton of huge publishers. So that in itself could be worth the cost, but it is, in my opinion, fairly significant. And yeah, I do think that cost should be passed on to the publishers, not the designers. But it's not my event. You just have to decide if that cost is worth it to you. And it might be. But just know that you can pitch to a lot of these publishers for free. It's just a lot more work. It's just nice that they have them all in one event. You can just pitch one right after the other. Although, like I said in my newsletter, you wouldn't pitch to every single publisher on the list. They curate the list of publishers for you that they think could work the best for your game, which is nice as well. But, you can pitch to Hasbro at Gen Con. You can pitch to Ravensburger. They're having a Ravensburger pitch day coming up soon, I think in like April. I think they're going to announce that soon. So you can pitch to you can pitch to the op at events, like for free. So, but it's a lot more work. You have to go to those conventions in person, which will cost a lot more than the cost of this Mojo pitch. So it is online. So the fact that that's the only cost because it is online is actually not terrible if you think about, well, I'm going to go to Gen Con and pitch to all these publishers for free, but I have to pay for my flights, I have to pay for the hotel, I have to pay for my ticket, I have to pay for food. Like, obviously that would really add up. So yes, technically you can pitch to a lot of these publishers for free at conventions, but you have to get to those conventions, the badge. There's a lot of cost to attend conventions in person, but there's a lot of free online pitch opportunities as well, like Ravensburger, Spiel. What is that company? Oh, I'm totally blanking on their name. Spiel, what is it? Sorry, I need to. Oh, well, I'll remember it later. But there's a bunch of online pitch opportunities that are free as well. And so, yeah, you just have to decide if this is worth it to you. Da, 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 da. Yeah, you don't want to pay that right now. Yeah, I totally get it. Maybe if I know the game is definitely going to be a hit, it's just so hard to know. But yeah, if you're getting really positive feedback from playtesters and other designers, then it might be worth a shot. But if you're getting lukewarm reception, it's probably not worth it. I do have a game with Stonemaier right now that maybe could be such a game, but I don't know. Wow, that's awesome! Yay! Hopefully that works out for you, Sprudel. Do you pitch to them one-on-one or to all publishers at once for online? Yeah, it would be one-on-one. They would be set up in some virtual room. I don't know what program they use, but the publishers would be in different rooms, and then you would pop into the publishers that they told you to pop into, I guess. But yeah, you would just be pitching one-on-one with each publisher one at a time. Hey, Dan, nice to see you. Yeah, I'm glad you could catch the stream as well. Recently came back to work more actively in my game design. Awesome. Oh, I can't wait to see what you get up to. So nice to see you. Yeah, it could potentially be a great opportunity, Sprudel. I agree. Hey, Mark, I have not self-published. Well, I mean, I self-published my digital game, Letterflip. So yeah, I did self-publish that, but I haven't self-published a board game. I am thinking about possibly self-publishing a game through the Game Crafter, but I still don't think that I would ever self-publish a game where I would then be dealing with manufacturing, like a factory in China and the shipping and the distribution, all that stuff. I still don't think I would ever personally do that. But I know there's lots of people who have self-published, possibly in the chat or on my Discord, if you have a specific question. Yeah, also the time as well, Sprudel. Yeah, for sure. Going to conventions take a lot. They cost a lot in money and time and energy. Okay, thanks, Sweetcraft, for letting me know you got the newsletter. It also reminded you that the stream was happening. Yeah, okay, good. Oh, that's a good point. When people get the newsletter, that's a good point. I send my newsletter during the stream every week. Maybe I should have a little thing at the top like, hey, I wrote this newsletter during the Cobra stream, which is happening right now. If you want to join, maybe I should link to that or mention that somewhere. That's something to think about. Yeah, Sprudel also doesn't want to deal with all the business stuff of self-publishing. Yeah, it's a lot. Sorry, who is the publisher? This is bothering me. The publisher of Micro Macro. Ay, ay, ay. Micro macro board game. It's Spiel something. Totally blanking. Duh. Just give me a minute here. Pegasus Spiel. Oh my god, thank you. Pegasus Spiel also has an online free pitch opportunity. It's usually in September. So Pegasus Spiel, Ravensburger, like several publishers have open free online pitch opportunities throughout the year. So that is just something to be aware of. Yeah. If I ever know about any of these, I always include them in my newsletter. Do any Game Crafter games get ordered by retailers, or is it just usually direct to consumer? As far as I know, I think it's mainly just direct to consumer. I think they might have a bulk. I think they do have a bulk discount. So, like, if a retailer really wanted a game, they could buy a bunch and get a bulk discount. But I feel like they would still have to mark it up so significantly it might not be worth it. I haven't looked into it a ton, though. So if anyone else knows more about that, about the Game Crafter, feel free to share. But I think it's primarily direct to consumer. Okay, let's take a break. Let's move around, get the blood moving, stretch a little bit, because we have another hour of work to do today. Crush it in the first half. But let's take a little break before we attack the second half. All right, I will see you in about 5 minutes. Alrighty. I'm going to put another hour on the clock here. Let's just catch up on some chat that I missed. I hope you had a chance to move around and stretch a little bit. Thanks so much, Dan. Yeah, I think of joining back on the playtest sessions, but the new weekly schedule is hard for me to meet. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, hopefully some weeks it'll work. That would be great if you could join again. That'd be awesome. Or just seeing you in the Discord, that would be great. Hey, Captain Co-op's here. Woo! Yeah. I'm drafting my script for a game explained to launch my channel. Hope to film it tonight. Awesome! Everyone go check out Captain Co-op's tabletop channel. Nice to see you. Oh, and Kevin Cracks Cards is here. Nice to see you. I recently just got my dream card published, and it's on Kickstarter now. Would love your thoughts. It's a no shuffling card game. $15 for 6 decks. Interesting. No shuffling card game. And then Mark says, I feel like Game Crafter is great for development, but from running a business point of view, I think developers can make a lot more money self-publishing through a bigger manufacturer. Oh, for sure. Yeah, a lot more. Yes, a lot more work, but yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, you definitely would potentially make a lot more money self-publishing with a manufacturer, and then trying to get it in stores or selling directly from your website or whatever, rather than going through the Game Crafter. What you're losing, or like what you're paying for with the Game Crafter, is not having to deal with all that stuff. Like there's a potential risk that you possibly buy too many copies and you don't sell all of them and they just sit in your garage and it's just a pile of potentially wasted money. Or maybe you miscalculate the cost of shipping and it's way higher than you thought, and so the amount that you charged on Kickstarter actually doesn't cover all of the expenses, things like that. For me, there's just too much potential risk of things going wrong and things costing much more than you expected or calculated for. So yeah, you make significantly less profit selling through the Game Crafter, and far less reach potentially. But you are, not having to deal with customer service, returns, shipping, like manufacturing, like all of that stuff. You don't have to deal with any of that. So that's a strong reason why that's a main reason why I'm seriously considering putting something up on the Game Crafter. I thought of a game a couple weeks ago that I've been testing here and there, and I'm actually kind of stoked about it. It's still very early, and I know I say this a lot, and then I like switch gears and think about something else. But this one, there might be something there, and it could be fairly easy to make on the Game Crafter, very minimal components. We'll see. We will see about that one. I'm going to keep testing it. It's still very early, but it has a very strong core hook to the game, core mechanic, and it's very straightforward. It's just cards and some cubes, or it could be tokens. But yeah, it is something to think about, because I know a lot of people have been very successful self-publishing, but then a lot of people have lost a lot of money. So this is a lot to consider. Yeah, Kevin thinks publishing is the right approach. So like self-publishing. Yeah, it can definitely be the right approach for a lot of people, for sure. It's totally a personal choice. Just do the research and make the choice that's right for you, for sure. Yeah, bigger can be better for money, but you got to sell. Yep. Marketing is a huge part of self-publishing, for sure. I'm trying to come at this with a business mindset rather than just the development side. Yep. I like, that's why I like talking about the business side of things a lot on my channel. I talk about design, but I do talk quite a bit about like the business and practical side of board game design. I enjoy talking about those things quite a bit. Yeah, if you're interested in self-publishing, and if you haven't heard of it yet, Jamie Stegmaier's book, A Crowdfunder Strategy Guide, it's like 10 years old now, but you can learn a lot of the basics of self-publishing and what goes into it. And so you might finish reading the book and think, okay, now I feel like I have a lot of the information to try this myself. Or you might be like me and be like, I have no interest in doing all of that. But I think it's good. It's a really good resource. It's called the Crowdfunder's Strategy Guide book. He also wrote a bunch of Kickstarter blogs, but they haven't run a Kickstarter in many years now. So I'm sure there's other more recent resources if that interests you. But I know, a lot of people have had a lot of success self-publishing. Like even Jay Cormier in Vancouver, who runs Off the Page Games, he runs Kickstarters and then has the games, oversees the manufacturing and everything. I think he also still pitches to publishers as well, but then self-publishes his own games too. But he's had a lot of success with Core of Discovery and Mind Management and all those different things. So yeah, it's definitely, it could be potentially very successful. It just, there is the risk that it is not. And it could be pretty devastating as well. So there's two sides of the coin. Have you ever heard about a really successful game on the Game Crafter? Yeah. Oh, sorry, on the Game Crafter. I was thinking of Game Found. Yeah. I interviewed the designer Jason Glover, and he is like the most successful designer on the Game Crafter. And I did an interview with him, if you want to watch that, where I asked him all about this. But yeah, he comes out with games like exclusively on the Game Crafter. He used to run Kickstarters. Now he just does the Game Crafter, but he has built up an audience. He has, his email list. He has his website. People have the notifications set for his store on the Game Crafter. So when he does come out with games, they're notified. So he mainly does crowd sales he runs crowd sales, and then he still has his games for sale after that. But he has a lot of success with crowd sales where the more people who pledge to buy the game, the lower the cost is for everyone, which I think is such a fun model. So he'll do that, and he'll sell like 1,000 copies, which is like unheard of on the Game Crafter. I don't know how what his numbers are after that, but you can see how many he sells on his crowd sales. So yeah, his games are like Underquest and Dust Runner, and he has a ton of games on the Game Crafter. So if you want to see a success story for someone publishing their games on the Game Crafter, definitely check out Jason Glover and watch my interview that I did with him. So it is possible. He says he does fairly well with his sales through the Game Crafter, but yeah, he started with Kickstarter and now he's exclusively on the Game Crafter because he has built up that community and that audience, which is like the most important before you start a Kickstarter or Game Crafter. Okay, over on Twitch, Grayson says, my family members keep saying I should self-publish instead of trying the traditional route. I tell them it's a lot more work and I don't want to deal with the business side of it. Yeah. There's arguments for both sides, and like I'm with you on that, and then there's a bunch of people who enjoy doing all that stuff, or they might have a partner who can help with all that business stuff as well. I think it really is at least a 2-person job, because designing the game, playtesting the game, and then also running a Kickstarter, and then also probably having a day job, that is like 3 or 4 full-time jobs for one person. So if you can find someone to do it with, it's probably a lot easier, or especially someone who's done it before. That would be ideal. But yeah, it's a lot for one person to take on. But I think it could be so fun though. Like I definitely see why people do it. It must be so fulfilling to have complete creative control over your game and to see it, come to life. Although, just remember, a lot of people don't fund, a lot of projects don't get funded. We hear a lot about the success stories on Kickstarter, but a lot of games, especially because the market is so saturated, a lot of games don't fund. And then, any money that people have already invested in their game is kind of lost. So yeah, but yes, there is the potential for it being a very positive experience. Marie and Pauline of Hot Banana Games, also in Vancouver, they did Steam Up. They just ran a Kickstarter for their new game Lion Dancer. They've run Kickstarters for all of their projects, and they have done very well. Very, very well. And then you also have like Gabe Barrett, who runs the Solo Game of the Month. He runs monthly crowdfunding campaigns, and they all raise tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars every month. So yeah, the potential is there for sure. It's just deciding if you want to take on that risk, or if you've built up enough of an audience, or you have a solid enough game, your video is good enough, like there's a lot that goes into it. But yeah, it could be a very lucrative and successful endeavor. So yeah, it just depends. Hey Luke, nice to see you. How you doing? Check out Panda Game Manufacturing. They have a lot of cool tools to help guide you in the right direction. Yeah, they're probably the standard for most people to use for self-publishing, but they are quite expensive. And then also they do have minimum print runs. I think it used to be like 2,000 or 1,500, but I think it's around 1,500 now. So yeah, you want to make sure that you can sell at least 1,500 or whatever the minimum is for Panda. But yeah, they do have a lot of resources out there to help self-publishers. So that's a good call out for Panda Game Manufacturing. Oh, nice. Red Anonymous added the interview to their watch later. Awesome. I hope you enjoy that. Yeah, Jason is so nice, and like I learned so much from that conversation. So definitely recommend watching that, because I asked all these questions that you're asking about as well, because I'm so curious how someone could potentially be successful selling exclusively on the Game Crafter, and he's done it. So it was a very cool conversation, and he does all the art for his games too, which is beautiful. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. Oh, thanks, Mark. He definitely managed his audience very effectively. Yeah, I agree. Does anyone know if GameCrafter does their manufacturing domestically, or are they getting the production work elsewhere? Yeah, they, as far as I know, they source some of their materials from China, but then they like package the games or print anything in the US. So it is assembled, and some things are manufactured in the US, but then some bits are sourced from China. That's as far as I understand. If anyone knows differently, please feel free to chime in. Touch on so many good points. Market saturation is built into this industry. Yeah, and it's just getting worse, especially when so many large companies are using Kickstarter, which I find pretty... I don't love that. They're going to overshadow a lot of the small guys who actually need Kickstarter. A lot of these big companies are using Kickstarter and GameFound as more of a pre-sale marketing tool. And then, you know, a lot of the small guys get completely overshadowed by that, which I don't enjoy. So it's just making it tougher and tougher for the small guy. On crowdfunding, it's a 1,500 minimum. There you go. So that is a lot of units. That's a lot of units to try and sell if you want to go the self-publishing manufacturing route. When you go through something like the Game Crafter print on demand, you don't have to worry about any minimums or anything like that. Yeah, no worries, Mark. I'm chatty as well. I'm chatty. After working in silence for like an hour, I'm just like, blah. These are all great questions too, and it's nice to talk about these things. But yeah, we'll chat at the start of these, chat now, and then chat a little bit at the end. So there's always a little bit of chatty stuff during these co-working streams, just like IRL office life, you know, work, deep focus work, and then go over to your coworker and chat with them and annoy them. I've had a great experience with Launch Tabletop for prototyping games. Okay, I haven't used them, but yeah, I've heard good things. Launch Tabletop. So yeah, they're similar to Game Crafter, but I don't think they have like a marketplace like the Game Crafter does, right? You just can order prototyping supplies from them. I'm not 100% sure. They do 1 to 1,000. Okay. Luke's doing well, on their way to Vancouver for a few days, running a game design workshop at UBC. Cool. That's awesome. Then Whitehorse for the Arctic Winter Games, then TCTC. Wow, that is a busy few weeks, Luke. Very fun stuff, though. Holy moly. You're zipping all over the place. Very fun. I hope you have a great time. The Arctic Winter Games sound very cool. I don't know if you're watching curling right now, but there's the Brier going on right now. And so that's like the Canadian national tournament for the men's teams. And it's just cool. There's all the provinces are represented, all the territories. And it's just cool. It's cool to see that all of like Canada represented in all the different teams and stuff. So that's happening right now. I think the size of the game matters too on the Game Crafter. Totally. Jason Glover keeps his packaging and printing compact and therefore more affordable. Yeah, absolutely. And he talks about that in the interview I did with him, talking about keeping components simple. Because it like selling a game on the Game Crafter, especially a large game like Sprudel is saying, or Sweetcroft is saying, it can really add up. It can add up very quickly if you have a board. Like the boards are expensive. The boards are fairly expensive. The box, the container that it comes in is super expensive. So he does a lot of mint tin games. So very small packaging, size of a mint tin. Those are pretty cheap. And so that's why quite a few of his games just fit in a mint tin container. So just thinking about the box that your game will come in is a huge thing, because the box is probably the most expensive part of the game. But yeah, if I were to publish a game on the Game Crafter, it would be very simple. Possibly only cards, or cards with one other small component on the side. Okay, so Launch Tabletop does not have a marketplace, but scaling pricing for more copies. All right, good to know. Very cool. And customer service is tops. Nice. Excellent. Grayson over on Twitch is saying big companies using Kickstarter is also basically the printing money, because they can guarantee success and remove their upfront costs. Yeah, I mean, I understand it from a business point of view. I totally understand it. But yeah, I just feel bad for the smaller indie creators trying to stand out in a market where there's like huge companies getting a lot of the attention and the funding. But it's almost like they should have a separate pre-sales platform and then an actual indie market platform. But that's another conversation. Box is the most expensive, 100%. There you go. Thanks for confirming that. And Mark says that's one of my biggest issues with Game Crafter of deck of cards can be $25 MSRP. Yeah, it adds up. I don't know if it's that bad, but yeah, it definitely adds up. It adds up. Yeah, especially if you want to, make a profit off of the game. You need to add some on top of the cost. So yeah, you definitely want to keep it simple. Small and simple. Cards in a tuck box or cards in a mint tin game is probably the ideal game to put up on the Game Crafter. Yeah, Ball Guy thinks that's crappy that the big companies are using Kickstarter. Yeah, I was thinking about making a video about that, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, that would take a lot of research, and I don't know. I'm not so in that space that I don't know if I should be the one speaking about it, but as an outsider looking in, yeah, I personally don't think that the larger companies should be using Kickstarter as a pre-sale platform. But if you have the design chops, I guess that's good to be able to focus solely on that. Yeah, well, I mean, you need to have a solid game either way, right? Like, you need to have a solid game if you self-publish or you pitch. Okay. I'm going to stop gabbing, because we can keep doing this for another hour. And I still have 5 things on my to-do list that I'm going to try. It's possible. I could possibly get this all done in the next hour. We will see. All right. So, yeah, we can keep chatting in the chat, though. But best of luck with what you want to get done in the next hour. And I'll see you in the chat. Alrighty. Um, yeah, that was slightly less than an hour just because I need to get going. Um, but yeah, I was able to get most of the things done on my list. That's exciting. I hope you're able to get a lot of things done on your list as well. We'll just catch up super quick on the chat and then I have to head out. But Drawing with Drew was asking about releasing a game that's all in black and white to save money on printing and color. And so some people were giving their feedback and their thoughts on that. And yeah, Mark is saying that black and white as a style can be great if the art is also great. And that made me think about Quests Over Coffee. I don't know if you've heard of that game, but it's a popular print and play game. And the art style is super cute, but there's very minimal colors. So that might be an interesting game to reference. It's almost entirely black and white. There's like one other color added. So I think that's part of it being a print and play. They probably don't want to have the people printing it have to use up a ton of ink. So that's probably why it is mainly black and white. But it looks great. So that might be a cool reference to check out. That's Quests Over Coffee. Might want to check that out. Could be cool. But I guess I would think about like how much it would be saving. Like if it's significant, then yeah, I would seriously consider it. But if it's fairly small, I think it would probably be nice to have at least some color, but it's up to you. But like some people are saying, like if you do want to market it as, a color, like kind of a coloring book slash a coloring activity slash game, if you want to market it that way, like it could be fun. Like that also made me think about Lantern, another print and play one sheet game that is entirely black and white, and I colored it in because I it felt like a coloring page. It's just entirely black and white, a ton of detail, and I was just like, this is just asking to be colored in. I don't know if I fully did it, but I could see that being like a fun, aspect to the game of like, play this game and then have fun coloring it in like a coloring page. So that was another one. That's another one it's called Lantern. So they also probably did that because it's a print and play. Save some money on ink. But it looks beautiful, just entirely black and white. And then I had some fun coloring in a little bit of it. Okay. And then Doubled is asking about anyone have any input on trading card games. I spent ages designing a fun card game for a TCG, and apparently that's like anti-publisher as the market is so dried up with the big four: Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece. Yeah, TCGs are expensive to produce, so I think that's what turns publishers off. Da, 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 da. So there's just a few conversations overlapping. So back to the coloring, like the black and white versus color. My game involves creating a zombie-like corpse, but moving cards around, so most of the cards are larger body parts, which would be easy to color. Yeah. Yeah, if your game works without the coloring mechanic, why do you need it? Fun factor aside, it would just be for visual appeal. Yeah. I would maybe do like a little poll somewhere and show the game in black and white, show it in color, and see if people strongly prefer the colored over the black and white. See how people respond to that. Because like I said, Quest Over Coffee looks great, pretty much almost entirely black and white. Lantern looks cool, but I think a lot of people probably would prefer something that looks finished with color. So I don't know. I would maybe do a poll. But then Sweetcraft is saying, consider how to make it a feature, not a bug. Whoa, where'd that comment go? Hello. Share the best color cards with your fans. Choose artwork that fits well with black and white. Consider a spot color on cards or specific mechanics. Yeah, that's kind of what Quest Over Coffee did with just like one additional color. But good luck with that. Yeah, Mark is making the point that art sells games. Yeah, I do think it is important. Like finished looking art. Like I did think about, we were talking about Jason Glover earlier. His art is very like detailed, and I thought for a second like, oh, maybe does his have color? I couldn't remember, but yeah, it does have color, and it looks really really nice. And I could see, like, I've asked him to to make a coloring book because I feel like his art really lends itself well to that. But I'm glad in his games he did add the color. I want him to make a separate coloring book of his art without the color added, because I think it's like very, it's the type of art that's very conducive for a coloring book. But as far as like the final game goes, he definitely adds color. Okay, I'm gonna have to go through this a little quickly because I have to head out. Okay, yeah, Drew's writing it all down. This is my first game that I am thinking of trying to publish or print at home to keep things much cheaper. Yeah, and if you do want to make it a print and play, Drew, you can have, the black and white version, and then you can have the full color version, and then people can decide which one they want to print. That could be something too. But best of luck. Congrats on designing your first game. That's so exciting. And thanks to everyone else for chiming in to help and give some suggestions for that. That was very helpful. All right. I'm going to head out, but thank you so much, Drew, for popping in, and American Ball Guy, and Mark, and Doubled. Sweetcroft. Thanks to everyone over on YouTube. Brendan, Sprudel, and Dan, if you're still there. Captain Co-op. It's so nice to see you in the chat. Luke, see you in a couple weeks. Kevin cracks cards. Rad Anonymous. That's as far as up as I can go. And everyone over on Twitch, thanks so much for holding it down over on Twitch. Andy, Grayson, Sweetcroft, and Goopy. All right, I'm out of here, friends. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm going to be traveling back to Vancouver this week/weekend, so I probably won't be getting a video up for you this Sunday. Who knows? Maybe by some miracle I will. But of course, I'll be in the Discord if you want to hang out over there. I'm playtesting with my members tomorrow night, of course. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.